Hi, I'm Lydia and you're watching Ketosis Focus. So why keto? Good question, I'm glad you asked. I have been on literally every single diet under the sun. Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Atkins diet. I have been on calorie restriction, carb restriction. I have jotted everything down and accounted for everything, and nothing seemed to be sustainable. They all worked. I lost weight on all of them, but nothing was something that I could do for the rest of my life, like a lifestyle change. Nothing was. And so when I first heard about keto, all I knew about it was that it was a low carb, high fat diet. And I felt like, since I had already done Atkins for a really long time, that I kind of already knew what to do. I already knew how many carbs were in the foods that I was eating. So I figured, well, this will be super easy for me. I could do this. And it worked for me last time. I just got off of it like everything else that I'd done previously. And so that's why I gained the weight. But now if I, stick to it, and maybe, it'll change everything. So that was the whole reason why I got on keto. Now I will say that I wasn't doing it right the first time that I did keto, because I wasn't looking at labels. I wasn't understanding the importance of ingredients in my food. And I really didn't get that sugar was the addiction. I figured I just like to eat, and I could eat a lot. And so when you're in Texas, our portions are ginormous, and you're eating stuff like chicken fried steak or Mexican food. So it was something that I grew up with, and I always had a struggle with. My weight gain didn't start at birth. Believe it or not, I was actually a skinny kid. And it was about 5th grade, when puberty hit, that everything seemed to change. I gained weight. You could see it in this school picture that I've got puffier cheeks, and my body just started changing, as puberty does for people. And I noticed that I was slowly gaining weight. Now, I was slightly overweight throughout my high school years. I was probably like a size 10, 12 when I was in high school. And then I went to college. When I went to college, that freshman 15 turned into the freshman 30, because I wasn't used to making the decisions when it came to food. My mom cooked for us all when I was at home. So being in college and having a little meal card where I could essentially get however much of anything that I wanted. And they had things like Saturday morning, or the weekend Sundays. You could have banana split and Sundays, and use your card. And so we would go out to clubs in college, and we would eat late at night at fast food restaurants. So the weight just slowly started to creep on. So by the time I graduated college, my all-time high was hit at 228 pounds, 5'3". And I had made the decision that I wanted to be an actress. And I had been doing this my entire life and throughout high school and college, but I decided to make a career out of it, and I was going to move to Los Angeles and go after an acting career in Hollywood. So with that in mind, I didn't want to go being 228 pounds, 5'3". I didn't want to be typecast. I didn't want to be restricted to certain types of roles. I didn't want to be the butt of jokes. I didn't want to be, the fat sidekick. That was my motivation when I first started to lose weight. So I started to walk, thanks to my nephew, who gave me the push to start walking around the neighborhood park that we have. And my walking turned into very slight jogging, and then a little bit faster jogging, until I would say that I worked up to about 3 miles a day that I started doing, in addition to calorie restriction. So I was eating lean cuisines and special K cereal with skim milk. I was doing everything that I thought I was supposed to do to lose weight, and it worked, as most things when you stick to it will work. So before I moved to Los Angeles, I had lost 60 pounds. Huge difference for me, because I had never lost that much weight before. I got to Los Angeles, and Los Angeles frame of thinking is health-wise and fitness conscious. And so I kind of engulfed myself in that way of thinking, and I joined a gym and I would go on hikes, and this is where I wanted to take my weight loss and kick it up a notch, and I started low carb. So the rest of the 100 pounds came off. I got down to 128 pounds, a size 2/4, and I was in my late 20s starting my career in Hollywood. So the moment where everything changed. I was feeling really good about my weight loss. I was confident in what I was doing. I was working out 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. I was doing weight training. I was running. I was in it, and I was doing well, and I was very proud of myself. So when a play opportunity came along, it was to be in a show called Real Women Have Curves in Santa Barbara. It was a professional show, and when I got hired on it, I was one of the smallest castmates when the show was about curvier women and bigger women and embracing your curves. And I think my character was supposed to be the larger one out of the cast. So, as cocky as I was, confident as I was, I told the director, you know, if you need me to gain weight for the show, I can do it. And she's like, really? You would want to do that? I said, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So I committed to gaining weight for this play. So I gained 30 pounds to do this show. And I gained those 30 pounds in like a month. I was getting Jamba juices, and I was drinking like, I don't know, 500 calorie drinks in addition to the food that I was eating. And it was really, really, really easy to gain those 30 pounds. It was hard to stop working out. So that was something new for me. So I gained the 30 pounds and I did the play. And when the play was over, I figured I can just go back to what I was doing and start exercising the 5 days a week, 2 hours a day, eating my low carb, and everything will just snap right back. And it didn't. And I didn't understand that. I was like, wait, what happened? So then I did something called the Master Cleanse. Have you guys ever heard of the Master Cleanse? Where you drink the lemonade, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper mixture, and you don't eat. I did that. Apparently it's a cleansing, and you're only supposed to do it like once every 6 months. I was doing them back to back in a desperate effort to get this 30-pound weight gain off me. And I didn't eat for 15 days. I drank this lemonade and did 15 days. This is probably why I know I can do the fasting with no problem, maybe even the alternate day fasting. It's been ages, but I did this Master Cleanse for 15 days, and I don't know if that messed up my metabolism. I'm not sure, but the 15 pounds came off in those 15 days, and then the second, of course, I started eating. Even if I ate nothing but salads and low carb stuff, it came back on. So I didn't understand. I worked out harder. I did everything I could, and it just wasn't working. So the weight slowly crept back up. And by the time I decided to leave my acting career in Hollywood and to move back to Texas, I was probably creeping towards about 200 pounds. I moved to here, and when I got married and had my kids, when I was pregnant with my daughter, at 9 months pregnant, I hit the 228, which was a bummer because that meant I gained all 100 pounds back that I had lost. But in my head, I was like, well, I'm pregnant. You're supposed to gain weight. Once this baby comes out, I'll get right back down to 200 pounds. Then I can work my way back down again. But what had happened was I completely lost myself when these babies were born, and I was busy. I wasn't thinking about working out. I was barely thinking about how to feed myself nutritious food when I am changing diapers and feeding babies, and you know, it was a huge change for me. And so the weight slowly crept back up, and I hit a new high. I got up to 265, and that's on the other half of 250. I was getting close to 300, and I was so uncomfortable in my body. I mean, completely. I stopped being present in my life, really. I stopped being present in my family's life. People would want to take pictures of us at birthday parties or holidays, and I would refuse. I just take it of my husband and my kids, just take them of my kids by themselves, but now I don't want to be in them because I was ashamed of how I looked. And it's sad because I go back and I look at old photos of birthday parties and I'm not in hardly any of them because I hid from the camera. And I was killing myself. I was literally slowly killing myself. I would be so uncomfortable when I slept because my neck and my face was so big, my boobs, and my body was so big that if I was to lay on my back and try to sleep, my husband would tell me, he's like, I hear you stop breathing. Like you're snoring so loud, but then I would hear you stop breathing. And so he was concerned. And I was like, oh my God, this is getting out of hand. This is getting ridiculous. You've got to do something and do it fast. So that was the whole crossroads. That was the turning point for me. I tried the keto 2 years ago, and like I said, I lost 30 pounds and I did well. But then it was hard for me to stick with. I felt like it was unfair that I couldn't be like a normal person. Why can't I just go and get a burger from the drive-thru like that person and like that person? Why can't I just eat a pizza? I don't understand why I have to be special and eat a salad while everybody else can enjoy this amazing food. And I didn't really see it as doing something for myself. I didn't see it as taking care of myself. I saw it as a deprivation and a punishment. So it was kind of unfair in my eyes. So that's why I was like, well, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to go off this weekend. Oh, it's the holidays. I'm going to eat the chocolate cookies and the fudge because, you know, that's tradition. That's what we do on the holidays. And that was my justification. So those 30 pounds that I lost the first time doing keto came back, surprisingly, not surprisingly. And I had gained back almost all the weight. And then my buddy Brian, he and his wife are already over 60 pounds each that they've lost. They're looking fantastic. They're already at their goal weights. And when I saw his success and their success on Facebook, I messaged him and I'm like, you look fantastic. What in the world are you doing? I want to do what you're doing. Give me the secret formula. Give me the magic pill. What is it? And he said, I'm doing keto. And I said, oh yeah, that's right. I've done keto before, but I can't seem to stick with it. I don't know. Is there something that maybe you can teach me that I wasn't doing? Because I want it to work. I just don't know how to make it work. And so when I decided to do keto and use him as my keto coach, he's the one that guided me every step of the way and basically was telling me where I was going wrong. He's like, you were doing something right already. You lost the 30 pounds. You're already on the right track. Here's where you fell off. Here's where you messed up. You were allowing the traces of sugar in everything. You were, eating foods that were high in carbohydrates or eating foods that had sugar that you had no clue had hidden sugars in it. And so once you start cutting this out, it makes the world of difference. And let me tell you guys, he is so right. Like the hardest part of this entire journey is starting. That's it. And once you start, then you're already there. Because when you're first starting and you're in it for a month, you're in it for 2 months, you've lost a couple of pounds, you stalled. You can justify yourself and go, it's not working. Why? I'm just going to eat and then try something else. Let me just try something else. Maybe Weight Watchers, maybe this, maybe that. And you justify it. But when you stick with something and you say, no matter what, I'm seeing this through, then stalls, then a weight gain here and there, none of that matters. You stay the course because you've already started. Like if I was to go off the rails this weekend and go, you know what, I'm going to eat Popeye's chicken sandwich because I have never had one of those. And of course it came out when I was on keto and I was like, man, I really want a cheat day with Popeye's chicken sandwich. But, I know me. And if I do it, I'm going to go off the rails and I'm going to gain back 65 pounds. So I'm not going to do it. But in actuality, I mean, if I was probably to do one cheat day, I probably would feel like crap and feel sick and feel guilty. But I don't know if I'd gain back 65 pounds on the one cheat meal or cheat day. It doesn't happen that way, right? But I don't trust that my crack of carbs is only going to last one meal or one day or one, it doesn't for me. So that's why I resist. Plus I started already and I'm on a groove and I don't want to mess that up. So that's my message to you guys. I mean, once you start, then you're moving in a direction. So just start. So like I said, I am a work in progress. I still have 50 pounds more to go. So thank you for coming on this journey with me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.